Okay guys, you've been through the first month of the program, more or less, and we're going to discuss nutrition again. So hopefully you guys have maintained the protocols, you've maintained a strict diet of predominantly vegetables and proteins made up of fish, meat, or eggs. It is now time to look at a little bit more. So hopefully you've lost a good portion of weight and started to lean up. You may have also noticed that there are days or maybe weeks where your energy is slumped quite a bit. And that's what happens when we burn too much energy from the muscles themselves and we don't replenish quickly enough. It's extremely helpful for us to lose fat in a short period of time this way, but it's hard over the long term to sustain higher energy outputs. And now that the workouts are becoming more intense, you're going to need a little bit more fuel. Okay, so at this stage in the game, it's okay to introduce more natural foods. You can start to reintroduce nuts, you can start to reintroduce beans. You can start to reintroduce some carbohydrates at the right times. So we still want you to treat food as energy for the most part. Always have a base of health, get good quality foods, but you can start to reintroduce some types of sugars and carbohydrates. Fruits, which are predominantly made up of simple sugars, you can now start to reintroduce after your workouts. So to reiterate, every time that you guys put a plate together, you're still following the same basic rules. You've got your vegetables, first and foremost. You've got healthy sources of protein. You've got you've got meat, fish, or eggs. And then you add a healthy source of fat if you are not eating fish, which takes care of that. And that might be, at this point, it might be nuts, it might be avocado, it might be certain oils. But then the last thing that we start to look for, if you guys are still hungry after these macronutrients are filled, you can add then a healthy source of carbohydrates. So the tricky part, most of us, the simple answer is if it's closer to the sun, you can more or less eat it without too much detriment. Stuff that grows directly from the land, stuff that eats stuff that grows directly from the land, you're more or less okay. We've stayed away from grains and sugars, okay? You can start to reintroduce the grain side of things, which falls into the hopefully whole grains, the quinoas, the oats, stuff in this camp that you can find a full list of complex carbohydrates if it goes beyond that online, and we'll give you a few suggestions along the way. These should be seen as fuel, okay? You don't need to have them most of the time, but they will keep the energy up and they'll help the muscles fill up a little bit more for guys that need to add more size, and they will help everybody recover from the workouts better and faster. The window for you guys is going to be in that 1.5 hours after a workout. Okay, that's your ideal time if you're going to add carbohydrates during the week, to add it at those times. And you can eat pretty liberally. It's not going to have too many negative effects. Beyond that though, your insulin sensitivity is going to drop considerably again, and you're going to be storing more of that stuff in body fat rather than putting it back into the muscle cells as fuel, as glycogen.